Welcome into Sportsmemo's betting podcast for Monday, May 20th. Teddy Covers, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Drew. How about yourself today?
Doing good. And guys, we're talking the NBA playoff game tonight, a few MLB games on tonight's board, the late night action mainly, and hopefully get you on the right side of some winners. So we got Teddy Covers on, and we'll break down the NBA game first. Golden State at Portland. Teddy, seeing this total move down as low as 218.5 at Bookmaker, and seeing mostly minus threes out there, seeing Bet Online with a minus 3.5 favoring the Warriors on the road.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen two-way action for this game, which kind of surprised me a little bit. Normally, you know, the long-term trends clearly show that the teams that are up 3-0 in a series have a tendency to close out those series in relatively easy fashion. In fact, since 2008. Well, you look at NBA playoff home teams. They're 642 and 349. That's 64.8% straight up. NBA playoff teams down 0-3, they're 18 and 29. That's 38% straight up. So obviously, when you look at the long-term numbers for teams like Portland, the results aren't very good. Other factors to consider for the Blazers, obviously, is that they've been outplayed badly in each of the last two second halves. Damian Lillard is clearly not at 100%. Enes Kanter has clearly been affected by his off-court distractions. And, you know, even when the Blazers get step-up games from some of their role players, like they had with Myers Leonard in Game 3, it's not enough to overcome the two-time defending champs. Although, the question we have to ask ourselves is, you know, what do the Warriors do in spots like these? You know, we saw them in this spot last year, twice. First round against San Antonio, they played pretty flat in Game 4, lost straight up and against the spread as road chalk in that contest, and then they had the chance to do it again in the finals against Cleveland, and that time, obviously, they closed it out much better with a win and cover in Game 4. So we've seen mixed results from the Warriors in this let's close them out and get some extra rest type of spot. When we look at some of the quotes coming out of Portland right now, there's nothing that stands out as being, we have to be betting on this team. All that being said, we've certainly seen enough from Lillard over the course of his career to know that this guy's not likely to go quietly. Although the Blazers have been swept out of the postseason each of the last 2 years, they haven't fought the good fight in Games 4. But, you know, Lillard, who's had a rough series, has potential. And let's not forget the impact of Andre Iguodala in this series, who's been the defensive stopper. And it doesn't look like Iguodala is going to be able to go for the Warriors this evening. The MRI results came back positive in terms of no significant injury, but as to his ability to be on the floor tonight to give Golden State that extra defensive edge, I think his absence may well be felt.
And guys, Teddy is on a 7-1, 88% NBA heater, and that goes, and also even more so, NBA since February 12th, 46-30. That's up over 60% over a good time frame there, Teddy. Great job on the hardwood. It's $9 Monday at sportsmemo.com. You can get all of Teddy's plays for just $9. He's got a bunch of them, including a 5%er big ticket, Bucks versus Raptors on tomorrow's slate. So tomorrow that will go back up to $30, but for today it's just $9. So if you're listening on Monday, which I hope you are, you can still get his top rated big ticket on tomorrow's NBA playoff game for just $9. And he's also got a trifecta up, 3 plays in one package. That, of course, being just $27. So great deals at sportsmemo.com today. Teddy's a great choice. 46-30, 61% NBA since February 12th, including the 7-1 heater he's on in recent form. We got 9:45 Eastern, 6:45 Pacific first pitch here, Teddy, in the National League, moving to the MLB. We got Atlanta at San Francisco. Soroka versus Suarez. Suarez coming from the left side. His AAA numbers are not good, Teddy. Up over 6 ERA in AAA Sacramento. Of course, that in the PCL, which I know you know. Depending, different people put different weightings on AAA ERA. Interested in your opinion on that. Also seeing minus 132 for the Braves on the road, 7.5 being the total, Teddy.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I'm betting against the Giants today, it's not going to be because Suarez had an ERA over 6 in the PCL league. It is a high-scoring league. There's lots of hitter-friendly ballparks in the PCL. And you oftentimes see guys, you say, how's he getting promoted with an ERA like that? The other thing, you have to worry about aggregate stats in minor league ball, just like you have to do worry about aggregate stats in big league ball, where you want to go through those game logs. You want to see, hey, has this guy really been struggling, or was it one bad effort or one bad inning, or something that he couldn't get out of, or the bullpen behind him gave up a bunch of runs. You want to know the nuances of what that ERA is. All that being said, Atlanta's a better team than San Francisco, and Soroka's been nothing but bet on all season long. It's not like we're talking about a Giants team that's been in great current form at any point in this campaign. San Fran's been, mediocre might be giving them a bit of a stretch. They're not 5 games under 500 by accident, although they are coming off nice, back-to-back road wins at Arizona, including an extra inning win yesterday that, the Giants kind of needed to get themselves going. But you look at the G-men off of 2 straight wins. Well, they have a pair of 3-game winning streaks this season, but certainly not a team that is, and that's the longest they've had all year is 3 games. So San Fran has been avoiding winning streaks like the plague, though Atlanta's bullpen's been dicey enough that it's cost them a handful of winning streaks as well. Braves, from a how do we get going standpoint, they were playing good ball. They've had their fair share and had won 7 out of 8 prior to the extra inning loss in Milwaukee yesterday. Worth noting, the Braves bats in pretty good form. San Fran's bats, well, they haven't been in good form all year.
Teddy, let's talk another one on the West Coast. In Petco Park, we got Weaver versus Paddock as the D-backs travel to take on the Padres in NL West action. This total went from 7 down to 6.5. You can see why. Paddock, if you haven't seen him pitch, I definitely recommend it. One of the better pitchers in all of MLB right now, in my opinion. Intense guy, goes after hitters, throws high velocity. Weaver on the other side has high velocity too. Former first rounder in the 2014 draft, has not let up more than 3 earned runs since the first start of his season. So that's 8 straight quality starts there for him. Or not necessarily quality starts, just not letting up more than 3 runs a start here. So 2 good pitchers on the hills. The total going from 7 to 6.5. Also sidewise, seeing the San Diego Padres land in the ballpark of minus 140 at home.
Yeah, Paddock, his last outing was his worst of the season, no question. He gave up 6 runs in 4 2/3 against the Dodgers. Couldn't make it out of the 5th. And the fly ball, he only had 6 ground ball outs in that ballgame. He was giving up fly balls, and that's not necessarily his game. And he only had 3 strikeouts in that ballgame. This is a guy that had thrown 25 Ks in his previous 3 trips to the hill. And the control's been there all year. He only had 1 game where he allowed more than 1 walk. Paddock certainly has that potential, but if you're looking for red flags, well, he's coming off a bad effort. And the Padres stink right now. This is a San Diego team that was as high as 6 games over 500. I thought they were going to be in contention in the NL West all year long. But boy, they've been on a bit of a nasty skid of late. And it's one of those skids where, the starting pitching's there where the bullpen breaks down, or the starting pitching and bullpen are there where the lineup can't get any runs that day. It's one of those really type of frustrating skids from a squad that, just the wrong thing seems to be happening every day. And, getting beaten up by Pittsburgh over the weekend, not necessarily a good sign. Obviously with the D-backs in pretty good form, and Weaver as a bet on hurler right now. This price is a little bit lofty for me on the San Diego side, despite Paddock's impressive numbers and every bit as impressive advanced metrics. The market's all over this guy. That being said, it's a second look for Arizona against him. He did shut them down in the first meeting between these 2 teams, and shut them down big time to the tune of 3 hits and 1 run.
Yeah, Teddy, Padres, you bring up some great stats there as far as they're an interesting case study because their starting pitching has been pretty good. Their bullpen, depending what numbers you want to go off of, has been great. One of the top 5 bullpens, in my opinion, definitely top 10 bullpens overall full season. So it's just kind of their lineup, which, at the beginning of the year, you would have thought was kind of a one of the positives, in my opinion. It just hasn't lived up to the money dished out. So either way, Padres. Yeah.
That's been the case for the Padres forever. It doesn't matter who they bring in as a big offseason signing. They crash and burn in San Diego. Everybody does. You can't hit in that stadium. So Machado's been better of late, certainly. And, they've gotten power from Reyes in center field, which you wouldn't expect. Hosmer's hitting okay. But on the other hand, there's no one on the team hitting 300 right now. I guess Tatis is. But other than that, getting on base has been a problem. For a squad that when you look at the batter, literally, Machado and Tatis, the only guy with a WAR over 1 on the offensive side for San Diego. That's not necessarily a good sign.
That is not a good sign at all. And guys, it is $9 Monday at sportsmemo.com. Every play discounted to just $9. Great day. One of the best of the week to check out the site, so definitely recommend it at sportsmemo.com. All plays discounted to just $9. Teddy's got a bunch up there, and he's been good of late, so check out Teddy Covers at sportsmemo.com. Teddy, let's talk one more here on the West Coast. We got Minnesota Twins, most surprising and I believe most profitable team in MLB betting this year. Total of 9, traveling to take on the LA Angels, now laying minus 120. Big line move here overnight, Teddy. What are you thinking with the Twins versus the Angels tonight?
And it's the second straight day that we've seen a lot of money coming against Minnesota. And all the money yesterday was right. Unfortunately for me and my bankroll and that of my clients, I had the Twins in Seattle yesterday. And Minnesota was not the right side there. And they rallied back to tie the game and then lost it and got bombed late. Actually rallied back to take the lead and then couldn't do anything after that. But there was a noticeable amount of anti-Twins money yesterday, and I'm seeing the same thing in the markets today, where Minnesota opened in as high as minus 130. Minus 125, I should say. I don't know if the minus 130 was real. But as high as minus 125, and now we're seeing the Angels in the minus 120 / minus 125 range. So we've seen a big line move on this one in favor of LA. The market's fading Minnesota for the second straight day. And some of that may have to do with the fact that markets don't love, that the Twins have been something of an overachiever. As you mentioned, the single most profitable team to support. We saw the Bucks lose yesterday. They've been the most profitable team to support in the NBA. I mean, it's not like every team that's been good all year is going to win every day. That's not what the Twins are going to do. And Odorizzi's won, his last 6 starts for the Twins, and he's been doing it despite, at times some mediocre numbers. Last time out against the Angels, he got hit pretty hard, gave up 9 hits, including 2 dingers, plus 2 walks and 5 1/3. Escaped out of pressure a bunch in that ball game, but certainly wasn't sharp. And now, of course, he's facing a lineup that has just seen him, which the markets don't expect it to be pretty. Although, Odorizzi had back-to-back starts against Houston's lineup earlier in the season. First meeting, he got hit hard, 5 2/3, gave up 8 hits. Second time around, 7 innings of 4-hit scoreless ball. So it's not like he's not capable of coming through with a strong performance. But I understand the love for the love. Yeah, and then it's love.
True love.
Yeah, well, and in the marketplace today, it has been. I mean, it's been the 40-cent move towards the Angels, or close to it. But you can certainly understand some of the love for the Angels. They're playing better ball right now. And I look at LA as a team that has the potential to make some noise. And of course, they really do. If you're talking about someone that's coming out of the pack, and now Cole's getting his first start. He came in relief behind Canning last week and got pounded around, 3 runs in a third of an inning, coming out of the bullpen. The markets are saying, watch out for this guy. He's got a little something. He might be better as the starter than he was coming out of the bullpen.
Teddy, great stuff, as always, talking NBA and MLB. Did want to ask you one question about the Preakness. I know you're not too big of a horse racing guy, but what was it like seeing the horse running around without a jockey on him, man?
So, look, I've been in Vegas since '98, okay? And I've been following sports and horse racing and all the, as a professional bettor for the last 21 years? I think it'll be 21 years in August. I never seen that before. You ever seen that before? I never seen it before.
No, but I loved it. I was rooting for it.
Yeah, it's awesome. Again, if you're betting the Preakness, you're betting it's recreational. I hope no one's betting it seriously. It's really hard to beat horse racing, obviously, with the house takeout. And yeah, you want to have throw a couple of bucks down and put a couple of exactas or trifectas and box these guys together, whatever you want to do. That's fine. It's all good, as long as you're not blowing half your bankroll to do it. But to see a riderless horse. And he was in contention for a little bit. The Preakness, it's fun to watch. It's something that we've never seen before, and that, to me, makes it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was a lot of fun. And, guys, it is $9 Monday at sportsmemo.com. And Teddy's got a bunch of plays up. And, Teddy, anything else you want to throw out on today's podcast before we shut this down?
Hey, I mean, you talked about it. I've been in real good form. The last couple of weeks have been very, very good. It's been a good year. It's been a good 2019 for myself and the clients. But, if you're thinking about getting on board, obviously, a $9 Monday, a good opportunity to take advantage of all of the bargain price packages at sportsmember.com right now.
Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow talking some hockey. We'll have Teddy on later in the week as well as Robbie Vino breaking down some also starting to break down the conference college football, different conferences. We got the SEC already up. You can go in the archive and listen to both the SEC West and SEC East breakdowns. We'll talk Big Ten and ACC in the coming weeks as well as we start preparing for football season, but MLB in full swing, NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs. So check out sportsmemo.com on $9 Monday. Guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk tomorrow.